some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Yes, some folks do have a strange idea of entertainment, and welcome to my nightmare. Or is it Friday the 13th? But technically it's both, because we're mashing up both movies and seeing who the winner is, Freddy or Jason's. And of course, he is back. He is the man behind the mask, or there is me. I'm also not back, but like Backstreet, where this is my first time where I say that. I'm your host, Lacretia Lyon. You guys can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one. But of course, there isn't one of me, because we've got to have people argue for Freddy and Jason here. So I'm going to start with my lady on the end there, who is arguing for Friday the 13th or Jason Voorhees. Tell us them who you are.
Hey y'all, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
All right, and my Freddy Krueger fan here.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Madison. You can find me on Twitter at MICH_MadisonTV, but mostly on Instagram at Michelle_MadisonTV, and it's all about Freddy because he got the claws.
Wrong.
Yes, and the claws are going to come out, aren't they, ladies?
Yeah. We were feeling it.
Yeah. And if you fans are fans of the whole franchise, this song is actually from Friday the 13th Part 6, which is my favorite Friday the 13th, but don't think that makes me sway one way or another.
It's okay. You can swirl.
I'll take the points.
All right, so let's just get into it, guys.
Yes.
The original films is where we're going to start.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think? Which one is the better original?
Freddy.
Obviously Friday the 13th. Obviously. It's not even a contest. Why? Okay, let me tell you why. First of all, you take a classic story. Like, just the classic.
A classic story's mama problems?
Yeah,
sounds like Psycho to me.
Ancient.
Sounds like Psycho to me.
What is better in a horror film than Psycho? You want that, and it's great. Going to camp is scary, the lunch ladies are scary, and mom's, intimidating, scary people. And then you have this one character who wasn't even like the villain. Like, just poor little Freddy drowned in a lake, haunting people's dreams. No. Jason, excuse me.
Oh, yes, but she knows Freddy is right. She knows Freddy is the one. That's why.
Is a lie.
See?
And so from that, you spawn like a character that is like legendary. Like from nothing to everything.
Well, I know. So we're moving on from the little boy that needs to grow up and move on from his mommy problems to
so many successful sequels.
You could always run, but you cannot run from sleeping, guys. Everyone has to sleep. Not even sleeping pills, caffeine, none of that stuff that Saved by the Bell taught us to keep you up at night. And that's why Freddy rules. Freddy is the brains. He's a genius. And his sarcasm, it's everything.
Burned alive by children.
I mean, come on.
Claws, so Wolverine, so over it, so done.
You know what? But at least he has something where he comes for you at night when you sleep, okay? Jason,
yawn. Literal
Camp
yawn.
Crystal Lake. I mean, how stupid are these people? They keep going back to the dang camp.
He
Like, how many people?
How
many people are they going?
And space.
On the move?
Let's not speak about Jason X. Let's never speak.
Let's always speak about Jason X.
Let's never speak about that one, because that is the worst. The worst. Come on. Oh my God.
Is it so extreme?
Sweetie,
it's so crazy.
Can you see?
It's so fun.
Have you been visually able to see your whole life?
I will admit that it's a crazy premise, but if you're gonna it's already crazy. Like, again, we've got he's been resurrected like 4 times at this point, like from hell. Doesn't totally make sense.
The only resurrection I like is Halloween and Alien. And Jesus. This one needs to just die. You just need to die.
Jesus,
just
guys.
die.
In that order.
Just die,
No.
Jason. Grow up. Get over your mama problems. See, that's how you could kill Jason. And that's the thing with Jason. All you have to do is bring up his dead mom's head, and he loses it. He's like, and that's what Freddy did, and he was good.
He was drowned as a child, and his mother died.
Man.
Freddy's arch enemies are children. Like,
They're not children. They're grown. He got them when they're teenagers.
Grown.
Technically, they're legal. They're bumping and grinding. They're not that
doing
much,
absolutely
they're not
nothing
too many
to
kids.
anyone, seeking old revenge on people long gone. You just let it go,
No,
man.
but technically,
and you were creepy pedo first. Like, what's redeemable about Freddy?
And he didn't only haunt kids. He also haunted adults. Because remember the chick that ended up, what was it? I think 3 and 4 when she grew up.
The Dream Warriors.
Yeah, the Dream Warriors. Yeah, and actually, I don't want to skip ahead because I was going to talk about something else. But and the Freddy franchise has spawned people like Johnny Depp, some like famous people. What has Jason done for us lately?
Jason gave
what
stuntmen
has
an
Jason
opportunity
done?
to shine. Stuntmen have only played Jason, and it's amazing.
Geez.
A whole bunch
That's
of them taking different takes on the character. Stuntmen are like the unsung heroes of Hollywood.
I agree with
they
you.
They are amazing. So
we
to give
will
them a
agree
chance
on
to
that.
shine, I think is an amazing opportunity for them.
We'll agree on that.
And we'll get back to the stuntman because one of my favorite is the most Jason. But let's rewind it back to Johnny Depp. I have a clip from Johnny Depp's infamous death that I'd love to show.
Now 12 midnight, and this is station KRGR leaving the air.
I watch movies wrong. I just start laughing. Oh no. And here it comes. I'm sorry. I love this so much. And fun fact from Brianna, who is our wonderful office manager here at AfterBuzz TV and Popcorn Talk, she told me that this was done in a room that goes upside down.
I figured, yeah.
And that's how they did it all the way back in the 80s.
Back then. Thanks, Brianna.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool fact. This is a very boring death.
You know what? I won't say it's a boring death. I think it was fun. I think the waterbed was better. But of all the Freddy death scenes, I know everyone thinks this is iconic because of Johnny Depp, which is cool. And he has on his midriff top, which is definitely awesome. We could all agree on that one.
Yes.
But I actually think the best death scene in a Freddy franchise was the one with the girl that gets killed in the Roach Motel.
Oh, yeah.
When he squeezes her in there. That's awesome.
It's all right.
You're Jason like banged 2 girls in a tree log. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
that was cool though. They were
Sure
sleeping
did.
bag.
It was amazing.
I mean, they weren't even real, but he couldn't even tell they weren't real.
Can we just talk about
Freddy has
costume?
sense.
Look,
Okay,
Freddy
what?
has a weak ass costume. Like, can we talk about it? Like,
He doesn't
Kristian
cover his
Greener-
face. Even if he's burnt and
With
everything,
that
he still
dope
does.
red wing hockey
That is called, confidence.
I don't
Because
think
Jason
that's
has to
what's called.
cover his face. He doesn't even put on Rogaine.
I think a
He
lack
ain't no
of
hair.
caring is not the same as confidence.
That's what my mom tells me, but I don't know.
We're not going to talk about costumes because, I mean, Jason, all you got to do is put on a mask and it's like,
Which has spawned so much better. Like, we at least don't have to deal with the tacky, like, slutty Freddy like, the slutty Freddy costume annoys the shit out of me. Like, look, like a little dress and I have claws.
And you know
My
why?
face is still
When we have
perfect.
slutty girl costumes, that means that we love the characters. Do we have one for Jason?
I don't think that's what it means.
There is a slutty
No.
Jason costume, but
I'm
it's really
terrified of
more of
that.
like a hockey mask
got-
with like a ninja suit, and it's trying to make it like a hockey jersey.
Hockey mask with a ninja suit. Okay, that's
Yeah,
not
no, no.
Jason.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
That's not
It's
Jason.
weird.
That's terrible. But
So,
a hockey
they
mask
didn't
is
get
much
that
more
one.
terrifying. You don't know who's behind the mask or what's coming.
If their breath stinks.
It looks dope. That's not, he's murdering you. What do you care? What is that?
I'm just saying,
This guy?
if someone's gonna have on a Jason Voorhees costume, I don't know if their breath is hot.
I don't
You
need
know, I
to know
gotta
that.
wait till that come
I
off.
just have to get
At
away
least
from
with
him so
Freddy,
he
you
doesn't
know what
kill
you
me.
get.
Ah.
You get it all in your face. All in your face.
Disgusting.
And here's my rebuttal as far as like the mask and the face situation. The hockey mask that's most iconic associated with Jason does not come in till part 3 because he has the bag on his head in 2 and his mother is the killer in 1.
Yeah.
Freddy's costume was,
Consistent
throughout the whole series.
Boring is
I'll
what
give
I'm
you that
hearing.
one.
We hear an evolution of clothing change. Like he took it off a victim. Like how cool is that? Just from a story perspective of like watching this guy, we see him, his mother's a killer, then he becomes a killer, and now he's like we start to see him form an identity by taking things from his victims. It's amazing. He wasn't supposed to be the villain.
It's supposed to take 3 movies to do that.
Because in the first movie he was not the main villain, and yet overshadowed everything. It rose to the top. Jason.
Thanks to his mother. Again, he had to do. He was
Moms
riding the
will get you
coattails
far.
of the mom.
Are you anti-mom? Is this
No,
what I'm hearing right now?
but at least Freddy's not scared of his.
Oh,
he
God.
even crawled out his way through that one. He was
Right.
like, nah, boo.
But spends his time again killing children.
I'm
Boring.
just saying, you know, Freddy's the brains, Jason is the brawn, and that's pretty much where it ends. He's replaceable. Freddy is not, and we love
but if-
Freddy's one-line zingers. He's like awesome. Like you could watch Freddy from now until eternity. Jason, okay, all right, yeah, you killed somebody with a machete. Oh, you got on a mask. Okay,
Freaking
cool. You need
awesome.
to get over your mommy problems.
Look, and to your argument, though, is like Freddy has been consistently played by Robert Englund, except in the remake, which we'll get to later by Jackie Earle Haley.
He did a good job.
With Jason, the most consistent Jason was Kane Hodder, like you said, talking about stunt people, and I love Kane Hodder, but
great.
she does have you there. Jason was played by, and even at one point, Tommy was the killer in part 5. So let's talk
Tommy
about
was
sequels.
the killer in part 5, which
and then they
was
gloss over it.
amazing.
That was
No,
once
that
again,
sucks.
but you had to remember
Wonderful.
twice. Jason was replaced as the main villain. Why? Because he was not that interesting.
Not replaced. It was a twist.
They had to.
Like,
They had to do
episode
something to keep it
5.
interesting. He had to go to New York. He had to go out of space. They had to do all these things to keep him interesting. Freddy's
is called
storyline has
character
always been
evolution.
consistent. We even tried to help Jason out by having Freddy versus Jason. That's how much Jason needed help.
You mean when Freddy had to call Jason for help
He
to
had-
save him?
Yeah, they worked together, and still Jason ain't get it right. Freddy was just like, dang, I can't get him right.
Freddy-
Jeez Lord, I gotta
because
go
Freddy
into the
was
real world to
self-serving.
get him right.
Freddie was self-serving
No.
and was like,
Freddy
look, you need to
is
do
a
my bidding.
psychopath.
And he's like, I'm killing people. You're messing with my mojo. I just came here to
You
kill.
can't follow simple killing
Look,
directions,
for
and
the
that's all you
braids-
do.
For the being the braids, it's kind of silly to bring in a psychopath to just go
No,
on Earth and
there's
then expect
in the
to be able
world,
to
in the
pull
art
them
of war,
back.
there are soldiers and there are generals. Freddy is a general, and Jason is a soldier.
Right, a general does
And,
his hands
and
dirty
a general,
and has to wait for children to go to sleep
and that's
before he
why,
can kill.
not just children,
Ugh.
he kills adults too. Technically,
He will kill some adults, you know.
and unborn babies.
But
and his
again, he
mother.
has to wait
But
for
I'm
them to
just
go to
saying,
sleep.
he doesn't discriminate, and he doesn't need his mother or another character to come
I'm sorry,
in
does
to be
Jason
the
discriminate?
villain.
He will just kill anything in his path. He's not on a specific hunt.
And actually, Jason doesn't kill children. That is his thing, is he sees children are innocent. And
Because he
but,
died as a
Which
child.
is cool.
Yeah, and while Jason may be a
Yeah.
mama's boy, Freddy, in one of my favorite Freddy movies, Freddy's Dead, his dad, is played by Alice Cooper. And he whips him. I mean, of course. Like,
Yeah, he has issues too, but
Yeah.
you notice that, they both kill teenagers who are promiscuous. I mean,
Which is okay.
that's pretty much 80s like
That's fair. That's
80s
fair.
horrors. I mean, if
Right.
you have sex until more recently, you're gonna die. I mean,
Yeah, I loved
Is
how
what it
horror
is.
movies were like, morale back
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a jerk, you're gonna die. If you're a slut, you're gonna die. If you're the
you're black,
prankster,
you're
Yeah.
gonna die.
yeah, you're always the first person to die.
but
That's just
Jason
my
did.
virgin
Jason did kill the guy in the wheelchair though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's
that was
equal
pretty dark.
opportunity.
So now it's equal
That's
opportunity.
equal opportunity.
Oh, now it's equal
You're
opportunity.
not going to discriminate just because he's in a wheelchair. You also deserve to die.
And I feel like he did kill non-virgins too. In
Oh,
the
yeah.
first ones, he did. Yeah,
No,
he did kill
doesn't discriminate.
non-virgins.
He's about killing
Yeah.
all the people,
Yeah. Oh, so now he's killing everyone, like
but not
Freddy.
children because
Yeah.
they're precious.
But we really
Precious
don't have.
babies.
We don't really have consistent children in a movie, except for when they're like, well, for Freddy, unless they're like the fetus and he's trying to get through their dreams. But for Jason, I mean, he waits till he kills a camp counselors, which is more fun.
'cause
Like,
that's
what are you
Jason
gonna do?
is
Lure
a
the
resurrection
kids?
story. That's
I
why
mean-
Jason is a resurrection story. So it's not really about going after a specific person. It's about surviving the beast that has been released from hell. Like,
Yeah,
which
but
is
no
effing
one
dope.
is. But no one was ever doing anything to Jason for him to kill them at the camp. They were just going to camp because it's the summer and their
They
parents want to get rid of
killed
them.
His mother.
But that was
And then
from
they
the first.
dipped him to
That
hell.
was like what the first 3 Jason movies. But after that, why did he go to Manhattan? What did those kids do to him? What did New York do to you,
He
Jason?
did just follow those kids.
What
He
did the
found
space kids do to you?
They were at camp and he just followed them up. He was just like, these are
so
my
he's
deaths.
just not. He's just killing. See,
Which is why? Why is wrong
you
with that?
you just negated your
Okay,
argument.
look, all I'm saying is if he's a monster, what is wrong with killing him? If he's the Brawn, like, what else do you expect the Brawn to do? He doesn't have a plan. That's not his goal. His goal is to kill.
Braun
He's
needs
got
to
a
follow
bloodlust.
needs to follow directions. That's why Freddy had to come out
No,
and
that's
say, you
not
know
it.
what?
No. And we can all agree that Jason won Freddy versus Jason.
No, because
Yeah.
Freddy was still alive. He thought
the
he
end.
killed him, but he still was alive.
He had a wink, and he can go back to Dreamland where it's just not.
But he
scary
could go
at all.
into
Ooh, the
Jason's
boogeyman.
dreams. But what could Jason do to Freddy? Really? Still, he needs him in a way. Yeah.
Jason's gonna be just fine. He didn't need to go
I think
anywhere,
Michael
just
Myers
directed
needs to
him.
come into the picture. That's what I'm waiting for. That's a bad boy right there.
I'd rather see Ashy Slashy.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, I love Ash. Like, I think he's the one that could really settle this argument. But
Okay.
we'll stick to Freddy versus Jason.
You know, Ash
Right.
would be able to.
Yeah.
He would have very strict thoughts about this.
Yeah. But yeah, so I see you guys are talking about the sequels. We do have some chat action here.
All right,
let's see.
chatters, come on.
Media
Come
Shock,
through.
who's very helpful here, he said Dream Warriors is the best in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Do you agree, Michelle?
I'm in between. But that was a good one because that's when they all they started figuring things out and they got strong and they worked together as a group. So yeah, I would say that's one of my top ones. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is one of my tops. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How about you, Joelle? What's your favorite Friday the 13th?
Jason Lives because it is a weird, crazy ride, but I also feel like it's the most, again, just looking at it from a resurrection story of like having like where Tommy is first introduced and then he accidentally brings him back to life with a lightning rod, I think is just wonderful. And then he drowns him at the end, which brings the story full circle. I like the hokier Jasons, but this one feels the most like, oh, we're going to wrap this story up. We've got it tight. He's going to get drowned again. We're going to chain him up at the bottom of the lake. I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I totally agree that Jason Lives Part 6 is my favorite, obviously, because I'm wearing the ridiculous Alice Cooper makeup. And my brother did Man Behind the Mask for his first grade talent show.
Oh.
So we've been fans for a long time.
Runs in the family.
But yeah, Dream Warriors is definitely my number 2, because I will still give Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, the best. But yeah, with Friday the 13th, gotta go with Part 6.
That was one of the good ones. I like the one after that too. The psychic girl.
Yes.
Yes, that one was good too.
Yeah. Interesting. What else from the chat room?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, Media Shock says Nightmare on Elm Street had a better production value and backstory. And the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Streets are magic. Those are all from Media Shock here in the chat.
Hey, Media Shock.
I know we're actually having a lot of chat for our show that's literally brand new today, which is great.
That's really awesome.
But, you know, we're gearing up for Halloween, and it's honestly the 2 most iconic monster franchises outside of, you know, the Universal Dracula Frankenstein. So we have, you know, Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. But, you know, speaking outside of the sequels, they were remade. What did you guys think of the remakes?
I think the new Freddy did justice to the franchise. Everything else about it, my thing with the remakes, I think that's some things we just need to let go. We need to just not do it. Our generation, I don't think, and I don't know if you agree with me, I don't think we've been really hitting the horror franchise. We've been getting some of the sci-fi, but not horror. I think
we've moved to psychological thrillers have become our horror. Like we want to be more mentally frightened than like jump spook scary.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what these new versions are missing. Like, if you're going to modernize them all the way. Like, slasher films can be great, but I need buckets of blood, or I need it to be very smart. Like, you can pick
both.
one. If it's both, you super
better.
win. You get gold stars. But if you're, I understand like when money is a problem, when you're usually on a very tight, short budgets. I can like those movies. I like B horror, but then choose a side. Like, either make a really focus on your story and make it really good, and shocking, or just give me lots of blood and like gorier deaths. I will take either or. Totally happy with it. I don't think either one of the sequels really nails the value of the original.
Not to me, but I think that's what makes the originals to both of our franchises still so relevant, because I think they do have some psychological play and they have the horror. They tease us. It's not like as soon as the movie comes on, someone is dead, like in like Scream. I think that, you know, even with Friday the 13th, just having that the first one where it's his mom is the killer, but you never know. It's all this you just don't know. It's like a suspense, but it's like horror at the same time. And the same thing with Freddy. Like, I think that that's part of what we're missing. They're so into giving us the bam that they're forgetting to give us that journey. So I'm not a fan of most of the horror movies that are out now. I haven't seen the last one that I heard about it. That's good, but you guys tell me in the chat room, you know, if it's good or not.
Yeah, I totally agree that, you know, especially with the remakes, at least for these franchises, the remakes didn't, you know, go too far off from at least, you know, giving homage to the original franchises as opposed to some of the ones we've seen. But yeah, and Jackie Earle Haley, such a great actor, known best as Rorschach from Watchmen. You know, I love him, but it's Robert Englund is Freddy. With Jason, it's really, you know, as much as I like Kane Hodder and he was consistent through most of the movies, Jason is easy to replace as far as an iconic character.
And
which makes it go on forever and
Yeah.
ever and ever. You could never run out of Jason stories as long as dumb kids are still going to abandoned places.
Says irreplaceable. But I've noticed, and tell me if I'm wrong, has Jason gotten bigger over the years when they have people? Like it seemed like his stature, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, like he just gets bigger and bigger. Okay, it's not just me.
Yeah, because Derek Mears, I don't know exactly the height difference, but he is much taller than Kane Hodder even, who is probably one of the taller Jasons and at least the most consistent. And, you know, but the Friday the 13th remake, I will say, I do like a lot of the cast in it because I know Willa Ford and Ryan Hansen, his death is at least funny.
I would agree that I think that remake is better than Nightmare on Elm Street's remake. But I think that, the actor that plays Freddy himself, I think that he's a good, you know, new person to play Freddy. I think that he nails that Freddy, like, just, you know, potty mouth and weird, but at the same time you kind of feel sorry for him. So yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. The remake, Battle of the Remakes. I'll give you that one.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, and lucky for us, there's already a movie matchup, and we've mentioned it throughout, but, you know, let's just talk about Freddy versus Jason and how that played out.
Jeez, oh my God.
I'm gonna let you take it since your guy actually invited my guy into the story.
You know, I was looking forward to this matchup, like Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, Batman versus Superman. These are the things I looked forward to as a child. But unfortunately, I have been disappointed.
Okay.
All three of them. I'm sorry. Like I said, I think that our generation, I don't know, the writers, directors, producers, they're so into like scaring us and goring us that they forget that journey. So I didn't really feel like, I wasn't panting. I wasn't like, oh my gosh. It was, but you know, girls with big boobs and they were scared and they were on drugs and then, you know, they were like, oh my gosh, and then they're dead.
That's every horror movie.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think for me the real problem with the movie comes with, even though I will say Jason won, I'll say it. It's not really clear. It's. I mean, if we're gonna be honest about it, it's not very clear. And I think the inability to make a clear decision, or I understand they don't want to abandon either like fandom. But I don't care. Make a story where somebody wins. Like, especially if you're going to call it Freddy versus Jason. Like, I want a clear, definitive winner.
Yeah, that was a
Both of them have been resurrected. We can do this again if you feel the need to. But in the end of this movie, I would have liked to have had a clear winner.
I think like a Jason Wu or somebody just needs to take over this franchise and just do it. Or J.J. Rowling, somebody. Like, I need someone on, like, one of those type of people to take it over and really make this epic.
Yeah, to me, it's like, you know, just like J.J. Abrams did with Star Wars and Star Trek. We do, if we're going to reboot a franchise or do another mashup movie, let's have it be respected, you know, by the fans and more about what the fans want. As we're, you know, like how Greg Berlanti does with DC on TV as opposed to Zack Snyder with DC movies. Sorry, it's just true.
It is, you know,
it's
it is what it is.
It's fine. We'll admit it.
And thanks for correcting me on JJ's name. I was just saying a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So we agree that the remakes were we agree
the remake wasn't great. Can you make an argument for why Freddy was, other than the fact that he can wink? Like he's headless at the end of it. How is that winning?
He's still alive. That's winning.
Oh man, but
he's still alive.
But here's my thing: is that Jason has his head, and we already know he's got that cool shrine to his mom out in the cabin. Like I feel like this is a total win for Jason.
No, I think that they just made us
add to the collection.
They just left it open where there could be another sequel, like Alien versus Predator. So I mean, he wins. He's still alive. He could go into Jason's dreams once Jason is like. Whatever people do to Jason to make him.
He's been resurrected from hell twice. I feel strongly that he may not need to dream.
But see, people have to resurrect him. No one has to resurrect Freddy. Freddy just decides to pop up when he feels like it.
Right. Even with a movie within a movie.
Junkies.
Like,
Didn't think about that, did ya?
I think I
one, guys.
No. That's being resurrected, even though it was accidentally, even though he needed an extra hand, is what has given him superhuman. Like, when we start off, he's like a half-alive human zombie
They
person.
wrote in his superhuman powers to keep him relevant. He didn't have those same powers in the
he
first
went to
one.
hell.
But Freddy always was able to go into your dreams
Which,
and
again,
mess you
I don't
up.
understand how always is a positive.
No,
Like,
it's
he's never
consistent. We
changed
know
costume, he's never
because
new
they have to
actor.
keep making. They keep having to resurrect Jason and reinventing him to keep him interesting.
That is called
That's a
development
problem.
of character.
No,
that is expanding
No.
the character and trying.
That's
new
like
things.
Resident Evil Past 4 when they just had to do stuff to make Alice interesting again. They just need to stop.
And
That's
she's
what that
not
was.
even original video game
I
character.
still
Yeah.
like
Sorry.
them, even though they are bad
okay.
B movies. They are
You
still
are entitled
fun.
to your decisions. We are the United States of America. Like your handwriting looking like the Constitution here. You're entitled to your opinions, so doesn't mean it's right or we agree, but you're entitled to
Definitely
them.
right.
And the chat have some pretty funny opinions about Freddy vs. Jason.
Yay.
Like, Star Drew says Freddy vs. Jason is a lot better than Alien vs. Predator 2. And then Media Shock is like, studios just sell on the franchise like Alien vs. Predator. Nobody cares about story or plot. So why don't we have another Freddy vs. Jason? Because
I mean, technically, I would like it if it's going to be done right, but I need it to be along the lines of, like, I'm sorry to say this, but I think the best horror movie of our generation is The Ring, hands down, because I can watch TV. I can have one in my room for months. So whoever wrote that, directed it, all that jazz, I think they need to come on board and do another Freddy versus Jason. Because
I would definitely see like a Korean horror version of Freddy
I would,
versus
because it'd
Jason.
probably be better.
Can you imagine how creepy it would be?
That's what I
Oh my
want.
God,
See, that's what I
yes.
want. I want to go in the bathroom and look around the showers. I want to tell someone to stay outside the door and, wait for me as grown as I am. Like, that's when you know something is scary.
Because see, one of the things missing for me from the Freddy franchise is like dreams are so like wild and different, and I really
all
feel
have
like
them.
I don't feel like they run the full range of dreams that are like possible or really up the creepy factor within these dreams. Like it's always your very stereotypical nightmare. I would like to see a very happy dream turned horror and like gore and stuff.
in Dream Warriors and Dream Master, the
there
3
was
and
a-
4, there was a few that started out good,
I
and
think
then
there were
they
some happy dreams in
yeah.
there.
There are little changes. I still don't feel like they've run the full gambit of like, again, just if we're coming at it from the Korean horror perspective where they have like these really wild and out kind of, I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh gosh, not The Ring, the one with the creepy boy child.
The Grudge.
Thank you. Yes, that one. I feel like there's a lot of like inky blacks in there, and I think it'd be really cool to see. I don't know, just to see like expanding on the dream stuff. I think it could be done more. I think we've seen just a lot of the same.
And we
I
love
get what you're
Inky Black.
saying, but I think it's because Freddy's going in the dream and he's like just going in the dream to kind of like let him know, hey, what's up? I'm going to kill you. I don't think it's because we're actually getting to see what they're dreaming in their dreams.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
Isn't
that
that
would be
so much more
that would be an
interesting?
interesting.
I
That would
like
be
it.
interesting.
I don't know. I'm curious.
So okay, what I was thinking was totally inappropriate.
Oh, don't
I
worry,
love
say it.
inappropriate.
We're okay. We can put it explicit on the YouTube show.
No. I'm not even gonna say it.
She's like, I love Jesus, and we don't need to go there.
No, he said we have to be fruitful and multiply. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm gonna snip it. Yeah. What else we got?
Oh, I love Bruce Lee came into the chat and
Oh,
says,
hey, Bruce Lee.
Freddy kills
Resurrection.
children when Freddy kills children when they sleep. That is the character. Fighting a grown man who never sleeps makes no sense.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Thank you, Bruce Lee, for that. Yes,
Hey,
yes.
I'm just saying.
Brains of the operation. I completely agree.
It is what it is. He's a psychopath, and he's a smarty pants at it, and I love it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, Freddy definitely wins on the personality, but
I
it's not like it
mean-
was a contest.
No.
I mean, I'm just saying it's kind of cool to have, the killer just say, have these little one-liners that just make you say, like, I hate you, but you're funny.
Do I want to
don't
like my killer? Is
Well,
that a thing?
but see, that's a human trait when you have to think about it. Like the in the reboot, we kind of feel sorry for Freddy at some extent because we kind of get more of the backstory.
For like
We get a moment.
2.5 when I'm like,
But I'm
oh,
just
that's
saying,
why you look
but
like
that's
you do.
when you play on the human heartstring. When you could play on different parts of someone's emotions in a movie, especially something in a horror sci-fi franchise where that's not something that we care about, but because we get that, it adds to the experience of the movie, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, make me feel these range of emotions, and then make me kind of question some things. And maybe I'm a psychopath too because I'm kind of feeling bad for this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
With Freddy, we did not know the full extent of his upbringing until Freddy's dead. Because initially we sort of, were told that, he's this child molester who was burned by these parents of the kids who were molested. You're like, screw that guy. But then you start to learn, his mother was was raped by 10,000 maniacs. They have all these, like, iterations. His dad, played by Alice Cooper, like, beats him with a whip and stuff like that. And so you do sort of get why he is the way he is. But, like, with Jason, he's so innocent. Because when he died, he was a child who was not being...
bullied.
A mentally challenged child, as, they've wrote along. And his mother is getting revenge on his death for these camp counselors who weren't watching him. So they're both sort of sympathetic in a way.
And they tell us a lot about what's going on in our own communities. Because I think those issues are still pretty much so very relevant. Whereas movies more currently now, I don't think that they kind of delve into that. And that's part of why I still like the old school movies, because when you watch them now as an adult, you're like, wow, that was actually, smart. And now it's just kind of like blood, gore, and tits.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, like, oh my gosh. Is it The Conjuring? Too?
Yeah, that was cool.
I love the Conjuring series. I think it's so
cool.
smart. And
Annabelle had me.
No, I can't do Annabelle. I don't like dolls.
That's why.
Really
That's
creep me
why.
out. But no, I was gonna say that The Hills Have Eyes is my favorite horror film series ever. Period. And what I really like about that is it's just so violent and gory, and it's a very black and white. Like, subtle nuances are lovely, but sometimes in horror, especially if we're talking about 80s horror with, like, the Freddy Jason era, I just, like, machete, hockey mask, go. Like, that's all I need. Like, I don't need really a personality from Jason. I don't really need to see him grow or develop as a person. I do like seeing him in different situations. Could we do better than the spaceship? Yeah, I'll admit it. I tried.
We agree on something. We
it.
agree.
I tried so hard to find it. I was like, I know that's where they're going to
Don't
attack
lie.
me. Right
You ain't
there.
got to lie, Craig.
Oh,
you ain't got
man.
to lie.
It's brutal and difficult to watch. But
The
I
liquid
really
nitrogen
like...
death is cool, though.
Huh?
Yeah, the liquid nitrogen death is
Yeah,
cool.
that was
Faster.
that was
Yeah.
everything. I wish we could do that all the time.
I know.
But I don't know if I need nuances from Jason. I like Freddy's wit is good. It's fun. I don't want my serial killers to be fun. I like the jigsaws. Be creepy.
But see,
terrify
Jigsaw
me.
is fun and he's
Yeah,
smart.
he's like Freddy.
That's why I love it. See, you just said it. You didn't even know it unconsciously. That's a Freudian slip.
Not
You didn't
funny.
even notice it.
No, you said he was funny.
No.
I said he was terrifying.
But
and
he's witty.
But wit is not funny.
Witty is funny.
Wit can't
Witty,
be funny.
sarcastic. He's all of that. And I love when my killers have that personality because it's just like, then it makes you question yourself. I love that. That's
I don't get that.
awesome.
I would like, look, I would like to see him have a reason to chase people. Like, perhaps if someone desecrated his mother's, like, mural thing in a fun, like, team hazing situation, and now he's got, like, vengeance. I like story.
But that's the same with Jason. Like, why is he still killing people all these years
It's just
later?
like
All those kids are
Halloween,
gone.
Before we knew why Michael Myers was killing, before Rob Zombie came and gave us an epic beginning.
But see, that-
we just had murder. It was just a guy in a mask just killing the shit out of people.
If she's gonna bring that up, I would say Halloween hands down knocks these two franchises out because it makes the most sense. It's logical. Everything about it, everything that we said that we like, it has.
Well, Halloween
Yeah.
is for sure shot
And
better.
and
like,
that-
especially if we're just going to talk about the originals. Like, just
Even the remakes, I think, are freaking awesome.
Some of the remakes are good.
I thought the remake.
And I love Halloween, and I will say, as far as like the definitive like horror movie of the '80s, that is it. Plus Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
But,
And
like-
her awkward teen phase, which I just adore. That walk at the beginning, which is like all kind of hunched over. It's
The
wonderful.
pants were cute too. I know that's totally
Yes.
no one cares.
No, but I love
did.
it.
But Halloween is for another show. We could totally just do one show where we
Yeah.
talk about how awesome Halloween is.
We sure could.
but-
That we all agreed
Yeah.
on. We all agreed on that one.
I
Yeah.
only mentioned it because I think it's like
Yeah.
for me, if that's our definitive '80s villain, then Jason has more in common with him than Freddy does. Like he's
True,
this
but-
masked killer on the
Yeah.
loose, hack slashing his way
Okay, well,
through
he doesn't
teens.
talk, but he has more. His character flaws are more developed, and we understand him, especially in the remakes. We get a real psychological understanding.
But we're just
of
talking
him.
80s original.
I'm just saying.
Talking
I'm
80s
just saying
original.
both versions of that franchise, and that's why I say it tops them all. Okay. But I like my quirky 80s B-list movies, especially like Blob and Night of the Comet. Like they're just one-offs, but they're awesome.
And wait, can we talk weapons? Can we talk
go ahead.
weaponry?
I'm not
let's
the
go
host.
ahead.
She's the host. You gotta
Yeah,
ask her.
let's go ahead. Jason has his machete as well as like a barrage of other utensils.
whatever you guys
and
have.
then Freddy's got the claws. So what do you guys think?
The clothes.
Wolverine ripoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
This
claws.
was pre
Machete. Well, technically, machete's a ripoff of everything before that because he's not the only person with a machete.
It's a giant ass knife, and it's dope. And
I'm
he was
sorry.
the first person to do
I'm
it
from the
with
Caribbean. We've been
mask.
using machetes for a very long time, so that's like nothing. So that's like nothing new to me. I mean, we chop some coconuts, kill some goats, whatever. I mean, it's cool. To me, it was like a regular utensil, so I'm like not scared. But when I see it on your hands, it's like,
mutilated knife fingers.
guts you and stuff, and touches you. It's like, ugh.
No, I can't get down with the fingers. Like, they're just not practical in everyday use. How are you feeding yourself? How are you brushing your teeth?
I don't think killers are practical in general, so I wouldn't say anything about a killer
I
is
just think
practical.
they're gonna be in the way.
I
Like when you go to
know.
wipe, like that's gonna be an issue.
I don't think in Dreamland Freddy is using a can. I don't think he's using a can. Just like
everyone has
Jason
to
isn't
sleep,
brushing his
everyone
teeth
has to
under
go.
that thing.
Okay.
I don't think.
I do.
I don't think that they do.
I've never thought about how Jason and Freddy use the bathroom. And then
don't think
That's
they
what I'm
do.
hearing now, Lacretia.
I think they
That's right
magically.
here.
They magically let that stuff happen. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and it just reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have seen the Funny or Die video where Bruce Campbell is playing Ash again, and he's, showing people, the dangers of having a chainsaw hand. So that's what I was thinking of with the claw. I was like, with the claw, Freddy can take it off.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, with the chainsaw, Ash can, but then he has a stump. Well, he has a robot hand in the show, but it's just like, what do you do with that?
I mean,
We've also got to think like close range, long range, like those things you have to be up
you're
in it.
overthinking things. Remember you said you
No,
wanted
this is a
you
movie,
want your
right?
horror
Like-
movies to be simple and stupid and to the point. You're
I never
overthinking
said
it.
stupid, nor did I say simple.
Basically, that's what you
I think
said.
that's what you interpreted. What I
Basically,
said.
because I'm just,
boy.
I'm just boiling it down. That's basically what you said. You wanted it to be just to the point, kill. You don't
I
want
said
any
I wanted
personality.
it to be slasher, blood, and I said don't need.
So you don't have to think about all those little things because slasher people don't think about
they
those things.
do
They just
that.
think about how they're gonna kill you and enjoy it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. How much forethought has gone into like slip-on gloves? Like you can't really get in there. Like you can't fight from long distance. If your guy's running, you gotta outrun him. Whereas with a machete, you could throw that thing. He's also using a lot of other utensils. I feel like machete is more versatile than finger knives.
So if he doesn't have the machete, he can't kill anybody, basically. But Freddy could always
He's
kill you because he always
super
got
strong,
it on.
and he could suffocate
now,
you.
like how many films later he's super strong, but he was never super strong initially.
in the
initially.
first three, he
See,
would still
we gotta
be
we
able
gotta
to
we gotta
nail
be
it
remembering too
down.
much stuff with Jason. At least with Freddy, we know these
Because
are his
he has a
powers,
history,
and this is
and
it.
he evolves as opposed
See, we
to
gotta
Freddy,
know.
who's just the same.
No, Freddy. That's why we like our consistency of Freddy because we know what we're going to get.
The snooze fest that is Freddy.
I will say that when it comes to Jason's strength, the best death is in Jason Takes Manhattan, the boxer, when he's like punching him. I almost did the clip, but it's so long, and that's what makes it funny. It's almost like a Family Guy joke where it goes on just one too many. But the fact that Jason's just like the guy's tired, it's like rope-a-dope, like Muhammad Ali, and then Jason just punches his head clear off.
Amazing. Stunning. This is what I'm talking
like
about.
that.
Like,
I
I
like
just
that.
want inventive deaths. And I like that he gets superhero strength. I like that he's a little bit unbelievable. I like that he comes from a place of like you tell your first like horror stories around a campfire. Like he's pure like Americana horror. And I love it.
Well, I didn't grow up where we had campfires because in Miami it's too hot for that. So we could still tell Freddy, stories without a campfire. We don't necessarily need a campfire, but that's great and all. It is what it is.
And I don't know, with the Jason TV series that has yet to come out, and it may never come to fruition, the Crystal Lake, and I know one of the guys who sent it to Sean Cunningham, so that may be happening, but Nightmare on Elm Street also had a quick little run. So how bad were those guys? I was like, yeah, we're like, no, those are not.
Hop, skip, and jump.
Yeah.
Some
over those.
things, like when they had the Friday the 13th series, which was nothing about this, but just about that. But no, I want my villains and my storylines to start and begin within less than 2 hours. I don't want it. The only thing drawn out I care for is Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead. Anything else? No, it's too much.
But yeah, Ash versus Evil Dead has done well, and I think that's why they're kind of working on it.
I think it was like the Sharknado of its time, and that's why it's still, it's like horrible, but you're like, why do I watch this? But I still watch it. I think that's why. It's just something we're connected to, but doesn't necessarily mean it's like
Ash vs.
awesome.
Evil Dead has such original source material
Yes.
that I feel like, and it's so heavily based in legend that you're able to arc that into other stories. Whereas, like, I think it's really hard to do a Freddy one just because every time they go to sleep, and then are you focusing on the character? If you were gonna do it, you'd have to do how Batman appears in the comics, where like his team will be the forefront. And then he just pops up out of the blue where you're like, oh my god, it's Batman. Okay, everything's fine. He's got it under control. Although when Freddy shows up, it's the exact same exact opposite reaction where you're like, holy shit. You could do like a mini series of a camp season for Jason, which I think
like
would be
Wet
cool.
Hot American Summer meets,
Yeah.
or with Freddy. This is, you can tell I'm from East Texas and love Breaking Bad. But I thought, oh, well, it could be a bunch of meth heads, so it is sort of a
I
gamble
want to
because they're never
high-five
going to
you
sleep.
so bad right now.
We're sorry for anyone that's recovering.
Yeah.
That's
from that
genius. I would totally watch that. Oh, you just changed me. I would watch a Freddy series if that was the story.
I still wouldn't, because I feel like every episode would be a disappointment for me because I know that he's not going to win, and I'm just like, no. I just want it a one-shot deal, a movie, and that's it. I don't want a series. I just don't want it. Sorry.
I wonder how many movies do you feel Freddy's got left in him? Is this an eternal character? Or do you want to see him like maybe get his like? Because it seems like because Freddy does have a goal. It seems like there might be a way to like.
I mean, even for Freddy, technically his goal has been done. They're all dead, if we're going by that. I mean, I think it's just a matter of how creative. If they're going to reboot it but make it a new storyline, that's what they would have to do. And it'd have to be something like, it'd have to be smart.
Okay.
That's my thought of it. I don't think a reboot, it should just be an addition to the story, but a different story, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
I'm a Wet Hot American Summer meets Hannibal, but instead of a super genius villain, here comes Jason just slaughtering people. Occasionally eating them because, yes, cannibalism.
Oh, he's a cannibal?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not? He could literally be anything. There's so much untold story
Very
there.
true.
Potentially, like, if you got good writers, I feel like you could go on forever with his story.
It always goes back to the writers.
Yes.
If the writers could come up with something very interesting, like, whatever you said, I agree with that. But some things we just need to leave alone.
Exactly. That to me is like, I would be okay if these stories were never remade because I feel that there's so much good material already. But at least, because I'm becoming more interested in TV and the way that AMC has done these things, I would be cool with a miniseries.
Yeah.
But it would have to be dramas, because see, the thing with Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead is they're more drama than they are horror. For me, in my opinion, because I do the and I also do American Horror Story, and that's what gets us with those franchises. So zombies, okay, anyone could be a zombie, they could die, whatever the case may be. So you could have a storyline around that. I think with our characters, I'm not sure if you could build that into a series. Even no matter how creative the writers could be, like a whole series. I don't know about that. Maybe
there's totally a mini series in Jason.
A mini series, I'll give it that much, but even that,
There is a 6 to 8 episode, like hour-long each series with Jason, especially if you set it in Crystal Lake, and especially if you do focus on the drama and you make it more about the kids, and you start them off being like, reckless use and then running from their lives and then trying to make it better. I feel like I could easily see a 3-arc, like 8 episodes, 8 hours, Jason.
If you want to do that, then I'd also say more development of Jason too. Like, I want to see what was his interaction like with the kids, with the camp counselors, why they, were making out instead of watching him. What caused his deformity.
And see, that's exactly what I would do.
That
he would come for the counselors because once again, they were not watching it. It would be
Yeah.
like a bullying PSA. I see it. I love it. I would watch it.
And unfortunately, the CW did pass on that, but they're, never say never, because a lot of stuff has gotten made.
I was
'cause
gonna say,
that's
I'm
very
kind of
similar to
glad
what
the
was pitched to
CW
them.
passed on
Yeah.
it because I don't know how they would
Yeah.
do the graphic horror. Although they've done it. No, that's CBS. CBS did an okay job with Super Ex-Girlfriend. Yeah, where they're able to slide in a lot. It was originally made for Showtime, and so they have a lot of those filthy kind of jokes in there, and they were able to tame it down just enough to be on network.
power of
So
editing.
maybe. I guess if they went more suspenseful, Hannibal was on
But see,
network,
even
so
so,
maybe.
suspense too. That's part of it. But I would say with things like Netflix, YouTube
Yeah,
Red,
exactly.
there's more platforms. So even if something gets passed on by broadcast, I'm sure there's some digital platforms or cable that would pick it up. So I wouldn't be surprised as long as the writing is smart and it makes sense. I'll give it a try. I just wouldn't outright say let's do it. You have to prove it to me first.
Exactly. And you guys definitely proved your point. So I think we're going to announce a winner. Chat has been putting in, as well as our Twitter poll. And
Get the Rocky sound?
Yeah. Or my ringtone. But unfortunately, Joelle, I loved all your points.
No!
And I love Jason Lives, obviously. But the viewers have spoken, and Freddy wins.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
Thank you
Killing me.
guys. Thank you. You know what?
It was a good fight, though.
Yes, you girl.
I respect it. Right here.
Wow.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
we can also
You
be
did
friends.
that.
It was fun.
You
It was good.
convinced me. You convinced me of a Jason miniseries.
It
How
was
about
really
that?
hard because I really like Freddy, like a whole lot.
yeah.
This is
Kristian, I'm
really,
sorry.
really challenging.
But we all agreed that Michael Myers won though.
Oh, yeah.
Overall,
Yeah.
that's a different conversation. But yes, that's like the best.
Well, and it's cool that you guys did bring up the Grudge in the Ring, because that is what we will be doing next week for the Monster Movie Mashup at the same time,
Same
about
dang
4
time.
p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Popcorn Talk. But that is it for this week. Of course, guys, I'm your host, Lacretia Lyon. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one. And also on Sundays, we do the Ash vs. Evil Dead after show at 9 p.m. PST on AfterBuzz TV. Be sure to watch us on there and talk about other horror stuff. But how about you guys?
Yeah, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Joelle Monique, and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. I'm doing Luke Cage again Saturday. If you were there with us for the first 6, come on back. We're so excited to do the next 4 for the series. And then Sundays, you can catch me doing the Westworld. And then tonight, come back in like an hour and come on Comic Exchange and hear us talk about the Luke Cage comic book series that we like the best.
And I'm Michelle Madison. I also do the American Horror Story after show here on AfterBuzz, so catch us at 10 o'clock. You can find me on Twitter at MICH_Madison TV and on Instagram at Michelle_Madison TV. Holla!
All right, guys. Thank you so much for freaking out with us.
I won.
Producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Spita, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network. We would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.